Reform UK is truly shaking up the British political landscape, and it's becoming more evident that the major parties are not just unhappy, but deeply concerned. In fact, you could argue they are scared. In today's video, we'll take a closer look at a dramatic moment where Harriet Harman, a senior Labour figure, completely loses her cool on live TV. She labels Reform UK as a threat to democracy, a statement that clearly reflects the growing anxiety within the Labour Party. You can almost feel the panic coming from her, and it's no surprise when you consider the power Reform UK is beginning to amass. As the British public increasingly looks for fresh alternatives, it's clear that Reform UK is tapping into a real demand for change. The political establishment, however, seems increasingly threatened by their rise. Why is Reform UK gaining so much ground? What is it about the party's platform that's making the Labour Party and the establishment so uncomfortable? In today's video, we'll break down the implications of this growing political shift and what it could mean for the future of British politics. We'll also dive into the reactions from Labour and the Conservative Party as they scramble to maintain their hold on power. Stay with us as we unpack the drama unfolding around Reform UK and what it could mean for the next general election.
Harriet, it's not just the Tories who have to be worried. Mr Farage is after Labour seats as well, and I think the number now was they came second in 89 seats to Labour. How worried should the party be about the threat, or the challenge, I should say, from Farage?
Well, I think people should be very concerned about reform because they're not just a threat to individual parties, but I actually think they're a threat to democracy because they are offering easy answers to real problems, which are not a solution and will just increase people's distrust and disillusionment. But I think the Shadow Minister who you had on was really in denial about the situation. If you look at the council by-election results, and I'm afraid I look at them every Friday morning very anxiously after the Thursday council by-elections, what they show, I know, is that they show a real fall in Labour's support. If you look at the percentage change, it's not just about who's won, it's who's voting and what the percentage change is. And reform from a standing start is like gaining 40%, whereas the Labour's down, but the Tories are massively down as well. And I think that the main threat to reform currently from reform is to the Tory party. And what I didn't see is any acknowledgement, and we haven't seen this either from Kemi Badenoch, that reform is a problem. They're saying it's not a problem until they say, look, we're really up against it. They won't start dealing with it.
As we near the end, let's take a moment to think about the direction the UK is heading. The political landscape is changing, and there are some big questions on the table that could completely reshape the future of this country. And I'm turning to you to help answer them. So, grab your coffee, sit back, and let's dive into these burning issues. Reform UK's rise. Is it a signal that the British people are tired of the same old political games? The established parties seem to be shaking in their boots as Reform UK grows in strength. Why do you think that is? Is it because they're actually listening to the people? Or is it that their message resonates with the frustration many Brits feel about being let down by those in power for so long? Are they truly the fresh alternative the UK needs, or are they just capitalizing on the current dissatisfaction? But let's not stop there. We're seeing some serious backlash from the political elite, especially from Labour and the Tories. They are all too quick to label Reform UK as a threat to democracy. But what does that really mean? Why are they so afraid of a party that's simply speaking out about the issues that matter to the average British person? Could it be that they are losing control and Reform UK is threatening to expose the cracks in their carefully constructed systems? Or is it just that the current political establishment is too focused on maintaining power rather than addressing real problems? And then there's Labour. Have they truly lost touch with the British people? When you look at their policies, cutting benefits for pensioners, raising taxes, and focusing on foreign aid while pensioners freeze at home, it feels like they are more concerned about political games than taking care of those who've supported them for years. Does this show that the Labour Party has become too disconnected from the people they're supposed to represent? Is there a way back for them? Or has the damage already been done? Keir Starmer promised leadership and a vision for the future. But with each new decision, it seems like the country is falling further behind. Does it feel like he's just trying to manage the crisis rather than solve it? Or is it all just a matter of priorities? How much longer can Starmer keep pretending that his path forward is what's best for the nation, especially when we see the glaring holes in his plans? And let's talk about the future of the UK. With the next general election on the horizon, do you think Reform UK has the chance to take the reins and bring about real change? Or is this just a temporary surge in popularity, destined to fizzle out? Could they be the ones to actually stand up against the establishment and deliver the change people are begging for? Or are they playing into the same system of politics that has failed us before? This election could be a turning point, and we all need to ask ourselves, what do we really want for the future of the UK? Are we willing to embrace a new kind of politics? Or will we keep supporting the parties that seem more interested in maintaining their positions of power than addressing the nation's needs? So, let's talk about it. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Reform UK is a real threat to the political establishment? Is Labour doomed to continue on its current path? Or is there still hope for them? What do you think the future holds for the UK? Your voice matters, and now is the time to speak up. If you're as passionate as I am about these issues, make sure to like this video, share it with others who need to hear this message, and subscribe for more in-depth discussions on the state of the UK. Together, we can help shape the conversation and bring attention to the issues that matter most. This isn't just a video, it's the start of a movement. Let's keep this conversation alive and continue pushing for the changes this country desperately needs.